It's training camp season. Today we're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and getting another look at Jaydon Blue. We're going to watch him work through some drills, run some routes, catch some balls, everything else. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at training camp every day. We're looking at what your players are doing behind the scenes. We're looking at your rookies, guys climbing the depth chart, and also those guys you're getting ready to draft in fantasy football here soon. Click that button. Stop missing out. But we're looking at Jaydon Blue here today. And he made some plays this week. He's been balling out. And the running backs have been making plays. It's practice. That's just how it is. But here he is. The difference between him and the other running backs is obvious because we know the combine. We know what he did in high school on the 100. It's the explosiveness. Shot out right out of a cannon. So the laziness, rumors, remarks, or whatever that came out from Yahoo, those are pretty much gone. That's done. Shotty been talking him up in the interviews, saying he likes how he's been coming along. He's picking things up quicker. And Brian Broaddus, former scout, part of the draft podcast for the Dallas Cowboys, pretty much insider for the Dallas Cowboys, said, hey, that might have been a thing from UT, not Dallas. So respectfully, most likely saying, hey, it's not true, and not just calling someone out literally saying it. Maybe, but probably reading the tea leaves from his statement. Boom. Good jump cut there. Moving laterally well. There he goes. He's explosive. I saw a site saying they may have the next Darren Sproles. I don't think they're comparable at all. Sproles is smaller. I think he's a different back. I think he's a different back than that. I think you don't look at the upside too with him because the Cowboys are looking at the upside. They're chasing upside with them because they're looking at what they can make him into. At one time, he was a top running back in his recruiting class. He moved up and down the rankings after that, but at one time he was getting ready to go to Texas. This guy ran in the 10s and the 100 in high school, showed good speed on the field. He's a very electric running back prospect. Big time recruit out of high school. At Texas, we were just waiting for it to materialize the whole time. That's probably the one thing that makes you wonder, the whole thing. Because you go back to that, that's a nice catch downfield. That was from last week, I believe. But you go back to that, and you were left wondering the whole time during his career at Texas when it was going to happen. Last year, he got his opportunity. Things looked good, but honestly, it did not live up to the hype of when he was coming out. But he was looking good. Like those spurts on tape of him just leaving guys in the dust, showing off that speed, catches downfield. Those are attributes that will definitely carry over. And then on top of that, those jump cuts are nasty. That he's doing. He's very assertive and quick with it. Just off the rip, off the back of my cerebrum right now. And if I want to use a Cowboys comparison, because Cowboys fans are going to come here and watch, and it's back in my cerebrum, so it's not going to be one for one everything when you look at metrics and everything, like stats, height, weight, all that. But just from feels, from watching, if you want a comparison, Felix Jones. Felix Jones-esque with how he moves, how sudden and quick and sporadic his movements are. How they chain together, his micro movements, and just how aggressive and quick they are. That's what I'm getting, and that's also been a long time. It's not like I'm popping on Felix Jones tape every single day. But I like to give comparisons to players from your team, even historically, because that's the team you watch every Sunday. And that helps. You get an idea. But the idea here is you got a running back here that's shot out of a cannon. We're seeing that play in and play out. Like when he hits that second level, and there's room in front of him, just maybe even a yard or two where he can get up to speed somewhat. Like, he's eating chunks of yards. And that's different from the other running backs. That is just different from everything else you got on the team. Like, You got the two veteran running backs, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. There's going to come a time in the season where you're going to use them. So when you're looking at this for the full season, I know some of you guys are looking at him for fantasy football. They're already getting injuries on the offensive line. Guyton went down the other day. We're seeing what's up with that, long-term wise, short-term wise. I know he's been out some practices. And before that, offensive line was a major question mark. I like Booker a lot, but he's still a rookie. He'll probably do some rookie things, but I like him. I think we're going to be in the 2030s, and we're going to be talking him up. I think he's that type of prospect. I think he was a very safe prospect in the draft, and I think he's going to be with the Cowboys for a long time. I think he's going to get multiple contracts. I think that's the player you got. I think Blue is shot out of a cannon. I think he's going to get his moment somewhere this year. I think the rubber's going to meet the road with the running back position. Javonte Williams has been stacking days, looking good. Miles Sanders have been reeling off runs. It's also training camp. As you know, you look at the pace of everything. It's not like they're rapping. They're rapping. But it's not 100% go. It's not game, but it's close. But still, things could materialize in season. What could benefit these running backs? George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, stretching it downfield. You can't cram the box. You can't do that no more. Because you also got Fergie Ferg. You also got Tolbert. Tolbert, the Cowboys love. They just love him. That's what you hear about on the draft show. Brada says that. They love him to death. They've been saying that last few years. But Pickens has been a monster. And he's going to continue to be a monster. And he's going to be, like, in the right situation for him. Because he doesn't have to be the wide receiver one. He can just play bully ball all day long. All day long against that number 2 cornerback. Maybe even number 3 sometimes if they move him around and get those mismatches. You can't stack the box against this team. That's going to help the offensive line a little bit. Hopefully. Hopefully that's going to help them with their checks. Help them a little bit. Because it's not like you're going to be able to send it too much. Because you're going to get burnt and beat a couple times a game doing that. And that's enough to keep games up. There he is. He's explosive. He's an X factor getting the ball in the slot. Fantasy football wise, he is a lottery ticket dart throw. Lottery ticket dart throw in the double-digit rounds. Like, you're going to be holding on to him to see when he gets his opportunity. Shot out of a cannon. They're going to lean on the veteran running backs unless something really changes. He's a lottery ticket dart throw. You can definitely see turnover in this team potentially this year. You can definitely see that happening. Javonte Williams wasn't efficient last year with the Broncos. However, before the injuries, before the ACL, he was an up-and-coming running back. Especially that rookie season where he was reeling off those runs. Especially that one run that's in the back of my mind where he made a bunch of guys miss. He ran through a bunch of guys. And it was just like a 15-yard gain. But he was just dragging everybody. He's got good vision, honestly. He's a good power back up the middle that has good movement skills, moving laterally. He's got those intangibles. If we get back to that, that could be a good running back to lean on for a little bit. And Miles Sanders, we got to see if he ever puts it together. We got to see if that ever happens. He's always good in training camp. He was good in training camp last year for the Panthers. Canales wanted to make it almost a 50-50 split with him and Chuba Hubbard going into week 1. He mentioned that. He wanted to split up the carries. And then they got out of week 1, and that wasn't happening. Chuba was really good. Chuba was really good. So obviously you're not getting Chuba levels. Because if he was doing Chuba levels, he would have been up there with Chuba. It's not like he was playing favorites. He mentioned the whole time he wanted to use 2 running backs. He drafted a running back in the 2nd round. He drafted another running back in this year's draft with Trevor Etienne. And he brought in Rico Dowd. I hope you guys remember that name. You better. You better. I'm going to be mad at you. But think about that. You're not getting Chuba levels. You obviously know that unless something changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. That's the thing. But the thing about Jaydon Blue here is he's going to give you a different look Also, we're finally starting to get clips of Phil Maffa. I don't know if I got enough to do a video, but if it's just one, maybe tomorrow or something, I'll do a video on him and just loop it and talk. Loop it and talk. I've done that before. I did it on Jaydon Blue before, especially in minicamp and OTAs. So going back to the laziness issue they had, so how that leaked out, and then Brian Broad saying the thing, hey, that might have been a thing from UT, as that could have been a thing, him respectfully saying, hey, that didn't happen. That wasn't a thing. That could have been something leaked later, maybe. The thing about that, they were so tight-lipped, minicamp, OTAs, that getting clips like this compared to other teams, hard. You know why? Because I had to search for them. I had to find news outlets where they're covering the news, going over for a 2-second clip, going back to news, 2-second clip. That's how I had to get their clips to do videos, to talk about your players. That's how I'd do it. To get George Pickens, to get Jaydon Blue, and I had like maybe 3 5-second clips of Jaydon Blue. And everybody was so hungry for it that it blew up. And I was looking for people talking about Jaydon Blue and people talking training camp. Instead of having the clips, they would just go over the pictures. They would let the main beat writers, the trusted beat writers like Eatman and them, just do the pictures on Twitter and that. That's the thing about that. So with things being that tight with the beat writers, with trusted individuals, lets me know that there's a high probability that they're just being tight with what they were doing back there and not sharing. Now things are just wide open right now in training camp because we're in Oxnard right now, and that's just how training camp rolls with the Dallas Cowboys. That's just how it is. But while you're getting things installed, while you're teaching your team some things, if they could keep it tight-lipped, they would. They definitely would. If they could definitely do that, they would. And there's also moments of practice where they don't let them record. You're not allowed to record. There's moments, some practices, I don't know about theirs, some practices, I don't think you know that, but beat writers are not allowed to record a lot of parts of the practices. Some teams are different than others, like Cleveland. That's almost a reality show with how much they allow them to record. And then other teams like the Rams, like I had to search, and then all of a sudden it just came to me, and I finally got some Rams highlights, which the last 2 years I barely had any. It's just different from team to team. It's just different. But you're looking at what you got with Jaydon Blue. Jaydon Blue's been working hard. Jaydon Blue's been working hard in his workouts. We've been seeing that. We covered those clips. He's explosive, and he's going to be a nice change of pace for this team. He's got to develop. The team wants to develop him. They see the upside in him. And if he hits into that upside, you may have a nice running back here. You might have a nice running back here. Phil Maffa is nice too. That's another young prospect that's rather nice. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.